Hey guys, my name is Iasmina and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to do a tag video, and that is end of the year book tag and questions related to the books that you still want to read until the end of the year. So let's just get straight to it. I don't want this to be too long of a video. I say this every time. It never works out, but I want to try. First question is, are there any books you started this year that you need to finish? Yes. Okay, so I am still listening to It by Stephen King. So I have this on Audible, and I am really bad with audiobooks. I don't know what it is. I'm just not used to listening to them. And you know, when I'm on the bus, on the commute to and from work, I usually either read physical books or listen to music. And there's no really any other time where I feel like, oh, this is a good time to listen to a book instead of reading it. I think I've been reading it. Let me just check because I don't want to know the answer. Okay, well, I did not remember this, but Goodreads doesn't lie. So apparently I marked it as started reading 11th of October 2017. Yeah guys, I'm really bad with listening to audiobooks, apparently. Even worse than I thought. I swear I thought it this year. Evidently not. So yeah, that's probably something I should finish by the end of the year. Let's be honest, probably not gonna happen. It's also a big book. I think it's like 60 or 70 hours of audio. So, and I'm about, I think I have another 35 in, so you know, I'm quite a bit in, but I'm enjoying it. It's nothing like that. I'm just really bad at listening to audiobooks because I always prefer reading a physical book or doing something else if I'm on a commute. Yeah, let's just move on. Second question is, do you have an autumnal book to transition to the end of the year? I don't really consider myself that much of a seasonal reader. I just read whatever I feel like. But this year, for some reason, I did feel inclined to pick up more classics and to read more classics towards the end of the year, so sort of end of autumn and through winter. And so I think a classic I would pick up the end of this month, the end of November, and then finish around beginning of December. I don't know which one, and I'm not gonna just set myself that specific book because it might change. Okay, question number 3. Is there a new release you're still waiting for? Okay, I mentioned these before in my mid-year video, but there's actually 2 books with Brandon Sanderson. One of them is his new release, and that's Skyward. I don't know if I'm gonna pick it up until the end of the year because I have too many books that I've already bought that I need to read. I'm definitely not one of these people that have to read new releases as they come out. I can wait. There's so many books out there that I want to read that it's not really a problem for me to wait. Sanderson. The second one I'm still waiting for is the paperback edition of Oathbringer that matches these 2 paperback editions of the first 2 books in the series. The book came out last year, right, Oathbringer, but the edition that matches these ones is supposed to come out in October, and I saw a Tor newsletter that said it did publish in October, but I have yet to see it on Book Depository, and so I'm still waiting for that edition to be available so that I can finally buy and read Oathbringer, because I needed to match those 2 because it's a huge book and I don't want a massive paperback or a massive hardback on my shelf. It just takes up too much space, so I really want to wait for that specific edition. Say it's come out, I have yet to see it. If I do see it, I think that's an exception that I will have to make and buy that book this year, because it's already been a year since that book came out, and I'm a massive Sanderson fangirl, and I'm a massive Stormlight Archive fan, so I need to read that. Come on. Question number 4. What are 3 books you want to read before the end of the year? I'm not great at making TBRs for myself that exceeds more than 1 book because my mood can change and I want to pick up something else, so I don't like to say I'm gonna read these books because then I probably won't, and so what's the point of saying? But I think I can try. Okay, so this is a attempt at giving myself a TBR until the end of the year. See how it goes, but one book that I do want to read until the end of the year, I've already mentioned it in one of my videos. This is A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, and I mean, come on, it's such a short book. Of course I'm gonna get to it, but it's I really want to read this in around Christmas time. I am pretty sure I'm gonna get to this. And then a second book attempted TBR would be A Closed and Common Orbit by Becky Chambers. This is the sequel, The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet, which is one of my favorite sci-fi books ever. I don't read much sci-fi, but this is definitely an awesome one to read, especially if you don't read a lot of sci-fi. This is very character-driven and awesome. And yeah, this is a sequel, and I haven't read it yet, and the third book also came out recently, so I really need to get more into the series, and yeah, I'm just excited to continue because I adored the first book, so I'm sure I'll love this just as much. And then the third one, and the one I'm definitely the most excited about, is a book that I got in a subscription box recently, and I did an unboxing for that subscription box, and I'll put the link in the card symbol and down in the description, so go watch that if you don't want to be spoiled for the October Unicorn Crate box. So this is The Shadow of the Fox by Julie Kagawa, and this is, oh my god, this sounds so right up my alley. I can't even begin to explain. Watch that unboxing video if you haven't already, because I gush about it more in detail there. This is a YA fantasy novel inspired by Japanese mythology, and it includes a fox shapeshifter and an assassin, and that I don't know. This just sounds incredible, and I hope it will be just as incredible as I think it will be. But I definitely want to read this until the end of the year. Question number 5, is there a book that you think could still shock you and become your favorite? Yeah, the one I just mentioned, Shadow of the Fox by Julie Kagawa. It sounds like something I will adore. We'll see. You know, sometimes YA fantasy is hit or miss with me because the premise can be amazing and the world can be amazing, but the plot can leave me a bit disappointed. Actually, the other book in my Unicorn Crate unboxing video, because I got 2 boxes, I got the August and the October one. Shadow of the Fox was the October book, but the August book was Dance of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson, and I am also super excited about this. As excited as I am to read this year, I'm not sure if I will actually have the time to get to it this year, but yeah, if I do, this also has potential. Okay, and then the last question, question number 6. Have you already made reading plans for 2019? Not in particular. Every year I set myself a goal between 30 to 40 books. This is a Goodreads goal, so Goodreads tracks how many books you've read and how fast and how many per week you have to read in order to reach that goal. So, you know, I highly recommend Goodreads just in general. Keeping track of your reading, but also for setting goals for yourself is really, really good. And so this year I had a goal of 40 books, and I am at 37 now. I'm reading the 38 one, so I'm about like 3 books ahead of schedule. So technically I will read more than 40 books by the end of the year. In theory, that's how it works. I usually like to set myself a goal like a bit lower than what I usually achieve. I feel like I read really widely, so I read a lot of different genres, and some are short books, some are really, really long fantasy books, and so those obviously will take longer, and so I like to give myself a little bit of slack in that department, and I usually end up reading a few more than my goal. But for 2019, I think I'll stick to the same thing I do and just set my goal for 40 books and probably read a few more than that. So yeah, I think that's a good way to do it for me, for the speed that I read and for the different genres and things that I read. I think that works out well. So yeah, I'm gonna set myself a goal for 40 books in 2019. But yeah, those were all the questions in the end of the year book tag. It's quite a short tag in that way. I think there will be another one right at the end of the year or the beginning of New Year, sort of looking back at the year as a whole, talking about the things that you liked and things that you didn't like. So I'm excited for that book tag to come out eventually. I assume there is one, since there was a mid-year one. There should be like a final book tag for the whole year. Anyway, that's it for me today, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next Monday with a new video. Have a great day, and bye!